Good morning, students. Now we will see what are the congenital anomalies in the development of the nervous system and how the babies will be born with congenital anomalies of the nervous system. I hope you are following the classes. Okay, what are the different congenital anomalies of the nervous system? We will see now. First is the anencephaly. It is the absence of major portion of the brain, skull and scalp that occurs during embryonic development. It is a cephalic disorder that results from a neural tube defect that occurs when the rostral end of the neural tube fails to close, usually between the 23rd and 26th day following conception. And see this neural tube, this is one of the neural tube defects. That is why mothers require adequate amounts of folic acid during the first trimester period in order to avoid these neural tube defects. These neural tube defects may occur in the babies due to deficiency of folic acid. Next, this is the, you can see just this is the picture of a baby with anencephaly without absence of a head. Next, acephaly, it is the absence of the head, especially as a congenital malformation. And microcephaly, it is a medical condition in which the brain does not develop properly, resulting in a smaller than normal head. I think in pediatrics, you might have studied in different conditions, congenital abnormalities. So this is the picture. See, acrania without any cranium, without any head. Next, congenital hydrocephalus. It is a condition in which there is an abnormal accumulation of cerebrospinal fluid within the brain tissue. And this typically causes increased pressure inside the skull. And in babies, there may be a rapid increase in head size. Other symptoms may include vomiting, sleepiness, seizures, downward pointing of the eyes. Let us have a picture of this a baby with hydrocephalus. You can see the how the head will is large and sunset eyes. So I think you can in detail you can read in your pediatrics. Then agaria, it is congenital lack or underdevelopment of the convolutional pattern of the cerebral cortex. Dyssencephaly, it is a set of rare brain disorders where the whole or parts of the surface of the brain appear smooth. So this is picture of various abnormalities of the neural tube or congenital abnormalities of the nervous system. You can just go through this slide. Next is the spina bifida. It is a birth defect where there is incomplete closing of the backbone and membranes around the spinal cord. There are three main types of spina bifida. That is spina bifida occulta, meningocele and myelomeningocele. The most common location is the lower back, but in rare cases it may be at the middle back or neck. Let us have a picture. See, this is spina bifida. And see the there is to give a code to various types of congenital abnormalities of the nervous system. There is a code given for any associated paraplegia, and congenital absence of the spinal cord is also known as amylia. Defective development of the spinal cord is known as atellomylia. So ICD-10 guidelines are anencephaly and similar malformations. Q00 is the code given, and encephalocele is the 01, Q01, microcephaly Q02, congenital hydrocephalus Q03, and other congenital malformations of the brain is the Q04, and spina bifida is Q05. Other congenital malformations of the spinal cord is Q06, and other congenital malformations of the nervous system Q07. There is a website given for you. You can just go through this website. You can have more information. So I think the congenital abnormalities is clear for you. And so I think in your pediatrics, in your pediatrics, it is more given for you, I think so. Okay. So we will see one more Another condition we will see, that is headache. So you know very well what is headache. So it is one of the most common of all human physical complaints, and headache is actually a symptom rather than a disease. A stress response, vasodilation, or migraine, skeletal muscle tension, which is called tension headache, or a combination of these factors. So headache is a pain or discomfort in the head, scalp, or neck. So types of headache is tension type headache, migraine headache, cluster headache, and other types of headache. Tension type headache, it is the most common type of headache which is characterized by bilateral location. It is usually mild or moderate in intensity and not aggravated by physical activity. Tension type headache is subcategorized as infrequent episodic headache, frequent episodic headache, and chronic headache. Then coming to the etiology, it is caused by due to sustained painful contraction of the muscles of the scalps and neck. Clinical manifestations include uh, photophobia and phonophobia, sensitivity to light and sound, and the headache does not involve any nausea or vomiting. Please remember. So this is, and diagnostic tests include history taking, physical examination, electromyography. These tests may reveal the sustained contractions of the muscles of the neck, face, and scalp. Then other one is a migraine headache. It is a recurring pain characterized by unilateral or bilateral throbbing pain. Migraine type of headache occurs more in females than males. It is associated with anatomical or nervous system dysfunction. Then coming to the etiological factors of this migraine, different theories suggest the causes for migraine. Vascular theory, where there is vasoconstriction followed by vasodilation, with resulting in changes in blood flow causing the throbbing pain. And second theory that suggests the pain is a results from muscular tension and is other one is a biochemical changes or changes in serotonin. Clinical manifestations include migraine without aura, formerly called as a common migraine. It is migraine without aura is the most common type of headache. Then migraine with aura, which is formerly known as a classic migraine. It occurs in only 10% of migraine headaches. Aura is nothing but a feeling of pain before it starts or lasts for 10 to 30 minutes before the headache starts, and may include sensory dysfunction, and sometimes visual field defects also can be noted. Then tingling or burning sensation, paresthesias. Then motor dysfunction, we can see weakness, paralysis, dizziness, confusion, and loss of consciousness. Then diagnostic tests include history, physical examination, neurological examination, CT scan and MRI scanning. Any pathology is there, you can identify in CT and MRI scans. Then coming to the neurological examination, Seagulls, next or a future videos, I'll be telling you about how to examine a patient neurological system, that is neurological assessment. Then other one is a cluster headache. It involves repeated headaches that can occur for weeks to months at a time, followed by a period of remission. And the clinical manifestation include pain around the eyes, forehead, cheeks, nose, or gums. Swelling around the eyes will be seen, and facial flushing. And diagnostic tests include history collection, physical examination, neurological examination, CT and MRI scan. Other types of headache. This type of headache may be the first symptoms of other illness. It should be due to some other illness such as subarachnoid hemorrhage, brain tumors, trigeminal neuralgia, and any other systemic diseases. So some pathologic cause will be there behind the headache, like subarachnoid hemorrhage or any presence of any brain tumors, trigeminal neuralgia, etc. Then prevention management is first is the prevention. Preventive medical management of migraine involves the daily use of one or more agents that are thought to block the physiologic events leading to the attack. Then there are several proven or widely used medications for the prevention of migraine. Two beta blocking agents like propranolol and Inderal or metoprolol or Loplesa inhibit the action of beta receptor cells in the heart and brain that control the dilation of blood vessels. Then other treatment for is calcium antagonists like verapamil hydrochloride. Then cluster headaches or unilateral and come in clusters of 1 to 8 daily with pain localized to the eyes and orbit and radiating to the facial and temporal regions. Then coming to the nursing management, the goals of nursing management are to enhance pain relief. It is reasonable to try non-pharmacological interventions first, but the use of pharmacologic agents should not be delayed to prevent headache. The goal is to treat the acute event of the headache and to prevent recurrent episodes. So girls, this is about headache, and your assignment is please write in detail the nursing management of a patient with headache. You write in the form of a detailed nursing care plan. I hope the topic is clear for you, and I think maybe uh, you might have anyone, all of you might have experienced this headache one time or other in your lifetime. So I think I need not tell you in detail about this. So please go through the video and make a note of important points.